Today is Saturday, May 25th, 2013. Let's take a look at the market. I'm going to try to make a couple more different video this weekend since it's a long weekend. I will make a separate video on some of the momentum high cap, big cap stock. But for now, in this video, it's just going to look at some of the market indexes. The S&P 500. Right now, I'm looking at the S&P 500 on the screen. You can see last week on Wednesday we have this reversal day, and then Thursday and Friday we follow up with a little bit of a pullback day, and you can see that on the weekly basis, you can see the trend is still continuing to be up until it reverses itself. A lot of people is start calling the top again and that sort of thing. But let me put up this chart here on all these indexes and look at the recent high that the S&P and the Dow 30 made. Before the last week, last Wednesday, a little bit of a reversal and a pullback. You could see that the only indexes that did not confirm the Dow Jones 30 new high is the Dow Jones Transportation and also the Nasdaq 100, which is, we could see, sometimes the rotation between Google, Amazon, Netflix, and Apple will have a lot of influence on this index. So can't put too much credence on that to be confirmed and non-confirmed. But for the Nasdaq Composite, it did confirm that with a new high, as well as the Russell 2000, which is a small cap. So you could see that the market seems to be telling us that there's still more upside to come, because again, we got to remind ourselves that the market doesn't top out on a single day or things like that. It take a little while for it to top out, because it is a process. It's not an event. So we have to remind ourselves of that. And right now, although that it could be internally doing some preparation of topping out, but right now, at least looking at all the broader market indicator at different sector and those sort of things, we did not see the market as is topped out as yet. So with that said, let's take a look at the market. Continue to look at that, and here I have the let's put back some of the trend line and the Fibonacci retracement that I have drawn in to kind of get some indication where the market might be headed in the coming week. So if we see that's continuation of pulling down, a lot of people might be looking at this 20 EMA as a support, but I see that it could be a very temporary support. It could be, come down. Yeah, it is sitting here near this 618 retracement on this fib retracement here, this segment here that I got drawn in, but it also could come down to this area somewhere around the 1590 area down here, or where basically at this baseline here on the previous fib that I drawn in to kind of get a gauge of where it might go. And you can see that it actually came up and hit the 127 extension, and then on Wednesday it surged beyond that, and then we see that immediate reversal. So right now it's still in a cautious mode. It is on this upper trend line here, so we probably would expect some minor pullback, and it could be come down and tag this 50-day moving average here, with the MACD is also kind of crossing to a negative a little bit. So we expect it to maybe stay down here and work itself out before trying to flatten out and climb back to the positive. So definitely have to be in a cautious side on the coming week, and just protect your long. Wouldn't be shorting this market yet, because I think going against the trend is the worst thing to do in this market, as it proved out time and time again throughout this entire trend here, this move here. And here we look at the Dow Jones 30. The price action is very similar to the S&P 500. You can see that the reversal day on Wednesday, as well as the price action on Thursday and Friday, very similar to the S&P 500. And in addition, looking at the weekly chart here, again, it's still trending higher. Although this might be a little bit scary of a slope, but hey, the market, it is what it is. So, and let me put back some of the trend line that I got in there, and again, to show very similar behavior as the S&P 500. We can see that it come down to somewhere around this 14,875 area, or somewhere around this 14,900 or 1500, 15,000 level here, between this 50% and the 38% fib retracement level. So definitely, again, be on the cautious side here. The market have a tendency to, pull back when people least expect it, and right now this is one instances. And yeah, maybe there's still dip buy come in, but don't rush in. Let them show the hand to make sure that the dip buyer is coming in before you go back and look at possibility to initiate some new long. But right now, it's definitely just protect your longs, tighten up your stop, and just be patient. Here we see the Dow Jones Transportation pull back and actually went below the 20 EMA and kind of tested that and then bounced back here. But again, we're basically looking for this thing to continue to pull back a little bit and possibly get down and tag this 50-day moving average here. And I put back some of these lines that I have drawn in. You can see that that would be somewhere around the 50% retracement and also sitting up near this trend line. So we got a little confluence here between this trend line and also the 50-day moving average. And if we take a look at the weekly chart here, you can see there's a little bit of a pullback candle here, but again, this it's still riding up above this 50-day moving average here, which is the 10-week moving average, and the slope of all these moving averages is still trending higher. So until otherwise, we just have to maintain monitoring this Dow Jones Transportation for the Dow theory messages. So even though right now it's kind of telling us it's a little bit of a non-confirmation between the last new high that the Dow Jones Industrial made. So, but until we see some further deterioration on the other indexes and also the market breadth indicator, the trend is still in the upward trend until it tells us otherwise. Here's a quick look at the NASDAQ 100. You can see the NASDAQ 100 is also came down and tagged the 50-day EMA. My suspicion is that it will come down and tag this FIB 618 retracement and fill this gap here, and this also could be coming down to tag this 50% retracement before it maybe reverse itself. But anything could happen. It could just come back up and tag this 3050 and move on. But looking at the the MACD and other indicators, that's certainly sort of biased toward the downside in the near term to come down and maybe fill this gap here. You see that the 50-day is coming up, so it could have a confluence here at this 50% retracement along with the 50-day moving average. And again, looking at the weekly, it's still okay, still trending up and holding above this baseline up here. So we'll see how the big cap like Apple, Google, Amazon, and Netflix will do in the coming week. I think that will kind of set the tone for the NASDAQ 100. And finally, looking at the Russell 2000, you can see a similar behavior, similar price action as the NASDAQ 100. And we see that on the 50% retracement, it will bring it down to this baseline here, which is somewhere around the 952, and also very close to the 50-day moving average. And if we look at on the weekly, again, you can see a similar price action, although we get a little spike up in a reversal on the weekly, but I think it's still holding up in this 50-day, above this 50-day. All the moving average is still trending up. So overall, the market is still in a positive tone until things get a little bit more shaky and more negative. We will maintain a stand that the market is still on an uptrend until it tells us otherwise. So good luck and have a nice, good luck with your training next week, and have a nice, enjoyable long weekend.